I'll bet most people under the age of 25 don't even know how to read this watch. I'm sorry, not sorry. Hello and welcome to Prestige Worldwide. Up for review today, we have part one of my watch collection. So let's get right down to it. First up, we have the Squale-Matic. This one was featured in a previous video. It's probably my favorite watch. Made in Switzerland. It has a Swiss ETA 2824, and this is the Elabore movement. So it has the higher end ETA 2824 movement. It's got a polished case, 44 millimeter case diameter. It's got applied indexes, a gradient dial, rotating dive bezel. It's just a sharp looking watch. I really like this one. Well, this one's my favorite. And then we have a quartz watch. I don't have very many quartz watches. This one is a Casio Edifice 200 meter dive watch. I like how simple it is. It does need a new battery. One reason I don't have quartz watches very much is because they use batteries. So almost all of these watches are automatic. Next up, we have the Alpina Seastrong. This is the Gyre edition. So the Gyre, and this was featured in a previous review. Feel free to check it out down below. This has a recycled plastic case, and it is from some of the plastic floating in the Pacific Ocean that kind of churns around with the currents into a gyre. So like somewhere in the South Pacific near, Guam or something, there is just a whole like island of plastic that that they're trying to clean up and recycle some of the plastic from it. I think some of the proceeds from this watch actually went to the efforts to clean up this plastic trash pile in the middle of the ocean. Next up, we have this is a Suiza watch. I got it from ashford.com. It does have an ETA 2824 movement. So it has a high beat Swiss automatic movement. Sort of an obscure watch. I have regulated it, so it's pretty accurate. It's accurate within like a couple of seconds a day. I don't wear it very often. Nice looking watch, 44 millimeter case diameter. This is more of a generic case. Like the case is probably made in China, and then the movement is made in Switzerland. So it's sort of a wannabe Swiss watch, but it's not quite there. Next up, we have a Spinnaker Rec. Now, I love Spinnaker Recs. I'm wearing a Spinnaker Rec right now. This one is the first gen Rec. This is the second gen Rec. So it's WRECK, like shipwreck. And these are made, as you can see, this one, it's kind of made to look patinaed and like it's been sitting at the bottom of the ocean for, 100 years or whatever. And then this one is the first gen Rec. This one has a mineral crystal glass, which I'm not a big fan of the mineral crystal. That's the only thing I don't like about this watch. Everything else about this watch is just awesome. Has a 90 click unidirectional bezel, NH35 Seiko movement, screw down crown, 43 millimeter case diameter. It's fairly thin. Let's get the calipers out. So it's only 13.5 millimeters wide, 13.7 millimeters wide. Really nice watch. I love Spinnakers. I have a few Spinnakers. They are just awesome. A lot of times from the factory, these are going to be accurate within about 5 seconds. So if you don't have a time grapher and you don't know how to regulate, you might want to buy a Spinnaker. Chances are it's going to be pretty accurate from the factory. Next up is the Air Blue Alpha C automatic. This one is made by the same company that makes Deep Blue watches, and these are not made anymore. It's a 44 millimeter case diameter. It has a Seiko NH35 movement. This was very accurate from the factory. It was accurate within a couple of seconds a day. Sapphire crystal screw down crown on an aviator watch. The lume is fairly good. I do like the big numbers, and I like how you get all 12 numbers, and they're all the same size. You don't shrink down the 3 in order to fit the date window. You've got all 12 numbers just rocking there full size. So I do like that. I like the hands. I like the strap. Very nice leather stitch strap. Awesome watch. Next up, we have a Deep Blue Day-Night Patriot. This has tritium T100 tubes on the indexes, and it's a multicolored, so it's not like a rainbow. It's almost like a retro 70s look. They are multicolored. It's not like a rainbow or anything like that. I'm not gonna, no offense, it's just not my jam to do the rainbow watch, but it's really cool in the dark. In the day, you can't even tell that it has anything special, and then at night, you can see the multicolored index points, and they're bright. This watch has an NH35 movement, pretty standard kind of, Seiko low beat, 21,600 beats per hour. Has a date window at 4 o'clock. I kind of like how it's different. I like the crown. It's got a nice knurled crown, screw down crown, 300 meter depth rating. Really cool watch. I like it. I've got an aftermarket. Got an aftermarket strap on it. I forget the name, but it's a nice strap. Let's see if I can find the name. Crafter Blue has a Crafter Blue strap. You can see the logo there. Kind of a nice aftermarket strap on this. And I do prefer silicone straps over leather or over nylon straps. I prefer silicone straps because I can wear them when I'm washing my car. I can wear them in the shower. I can, wash them off if I'm doing dishes. I can get them wet. It doesn't matter. All right, next up we have the Spinnaker Fleuss. This is a 44 millimeter case diameter. It has a rotating bezel, screw down crown, 500 feet, 150 meter depth rating. So this one's sort of unique as it doesn't have a 200, 300 depth rating. It's got 150 meters. Let me go ahead and spin this, the hands here so you can see that. So as you can tell, I like dive watches. Dive watches generally have 200 meters plus of a depth rating. This one at 150 is probably just fine to shower, to swim, to wash your car. Screw down crown. It has an exhibition case back. So the exhibition case back means that there's a window in the back so you can see the movement. There's the rotor. You can see the rotor spinning. So that powers the watch. As you're moving, as you're walking around during the day, the rotor spins. There's a coil spring that is attached via, sprocket gear train from this rotor, and it coils up the spring and tightens it. And then that spring takes 38 hours, or maybe it's 42 hours on so it's right around 40 hours that it takes, regulated by the escapement. So you got this little escapement, has little teeth, bounces around and catches the little gears, and that sort of lets the power escape from the spring to drive the watch. I'm kind of bad at this. I'm not a watchmaker, but I really enjoy automatic watches. If you haven't owned an automatic watch yet, it's probably best you don't, because once you buy one or two, especially Swiss watches, they are very, very, they're likable. Like, there's something indelible about these watches, and I really enjoy wearing them. Anyway, so Spinnaker, awesome watch. I like how it has sort of like a Wimbledon green, and then it has the cream color. I like the indexes, how it doesn't have the 3, it just has the date window. It's sort of different. I did mention on the Air Blue how I like all 12 numbers, but I don't want to have all 12 numbers on every single watch. I like having a little bit of variety. I really like the dots, just the dot indexes. There's no numbers on here. I'll bet most people under the age of 25 don't even know how to read this watch. I'm sorry, not sorry. Okay, and sorry. I do like the yellow tip at the end of the seconds hand. Makes it easier to see what the seconds reading is. I like the texture on the dial. I like how thin this watch is. Again, this one's probably about 13.5. Oh, this one's 12.7, give or take. So yeah, really, thinner kind of watch. Big case diameter, 43, 44 millimeter case diameter. It's got the rotating bezel. It's got a screw down crown. I put an aftermarket silicone strap on it. I really like silicone straps. As I've said, they're really comfortable as well. Next up, we have a Glycine Combat 6. This one has a 43 millimeter case diameter, bronze case. I really like bronze watches. Screw down crown. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, this one does not have a screw down crown. Sapphire crystal, exhibition case back. This one's even thinner. This one's like 11 and a half. Ooh, 10.8 millimeters thick on this one. This one's like kind of a unique watch. I like it. It's not a dive watch. It is a dress watch. It is something you'd wear if you're, going out on the town, going to dinner, if you're watching football, something like that. Not something you'd want to wear if you're going hiking where you're going to sweat a lot, especially with the leather band. You don't want to sweat this thing out. This is the original band. I'd really like the bronze clasp here. Really awesome. Good solid watch all around. And this has a Swiss movement. It has a SW200 clone, which is made by Glycine. And Glycine is a subsidiary of Invicta. Invicta gets a lot of hate, but they're just any other brand. Invicta makes crappy watches and they make good watches. Same with Casio, same with Seiko. All right, moving on. This is another quartz watch. This is an Aviate watch. I really like Aviate watches. They have some special stuff going on. These are a British brand. This has a sapphire crystal. It has a chronometer on it. Let's see if we can get it to work. So the second hand only ticks when the chronometer is going. Now you can leave the chronometer on 100% of the time, although that will drain the battery pretty quick. You can stop it and then restart it for split times, and then you can reset it. And I do like how it kind of sweeps around back up top. Nice looking watch. Got it at a good price. It was on clearance. I like how the crown has this sort of jet turbine knurling pattern on it. It's really cool. I like the hands. They're sort of like a gauge you would have in an airplane. For your altitude, your ground speed, etc. It looks like a gauge that you would see in the instrument cluster of a plane. Really cool stuff. Next up, we have the Heritor Edgard. This one is made to look like a Zodiac Seawolf, although it's like a supersized Seawolf. Zodiac does make the Super Seawolf, although it's only 40 millimeters. 40 millimeters is a little too small for me. This one's 45. It's large, it's in charge, it's accurate from the factory. This has an NH35 movement. I really like how it has these box looking hands and box indexes. I like the sort of melon look to it. Not something I wear all the time, but it looks really cool. Goes well with this. This actually has an Aviate strap on it. Works really well. Nice watch. It does have a mineral crystal, so deduct points for that. If it had a sapphire crystal, it'd be about perfect. It does have a screw down crown. It does have a 200 meter depth rating. It does have an exhibition case back. Solid watch. It's a little thicker than what I would normally like to wear. It's about 15 millimeters thick. Let's see, depends on where I measure. Okay, about 15 millimeters thick, which is a little thicker than I normally like. I like 13 and a half to 12 and a half. That's kind of my jam on the thickness. So this one's a little too chunky, but it does look good. It's very accurate. Just from the factory, it's like within 2 seconds a day. It's crazy. Next up, we have another Spinnaker. This one is a Spinnaker Amalfi, which is sort of an odd name. It's a large case. This one has a 46 millimeter case diameter. Let's go ahead and check that here. 46 millimeter case diameter, 14.7 millimeter case depth. Does have a sapphire crystal, NH35 movement, exhibition case back, screw down crown, 200 meter depth rating. It is a large watch. It is just a big ass watch. Excuse my French. I like the simplicity of the dial. If this thing was in a 44 with a 13.7 millimeter thickness, if this was just a little smaller, it might be my favorite watch. I do like how the dive timer, has a 20-minute area here where there's no paint. It's just raw metal. I really like that. I like the red on every five minutes or seconds. There's a red hash mark on the chapter ring. So the chapter ring is this little angled piece up here in between your dial and your dive timer. So it's this little angled area. I really like how it's red on every 5 minutes. Okay, next up, we have a Casio Edifice. This is in a sapphire crystal. This one's really thin. This is probably the thinnest watch I have here. It's probably about 10. 9.7. Really thin watch. It's got about a 44 millimeter case diameter. You know, Casio, yeah, 44 mil. I think Casio could do a lot better in marketing because they have so many different little variations. There's probably 70 or 80 different variations of the Casio Edifice. And if they just had fewer variations, I think they would do a lot better, because this one is some obscure code that you have to remember. Like, it's not, hey, I have a Casio Edifice. It's I have a Casio Edifice J13 2734, you know, and then there's a J13 2735 that has like a red dial, and there's a J13 2732 that has like whatever, like a different color, different something going on here. Definitely a cool watch. I know I'm complaining about it a lot. I do like the band. It has a real thin band. I'm not much for metal bands, but cool watch nonetheless. I'll probably put this one up on eBay at some point and get rid of it. No offense. Glycine Combat Sub. This is a 46 millimeter combat sub, 300 meter depth rating. I've got it on a leather band. This is a CCCP band. And screw down crown. I like the numbers on the dial. It's missing the 3 because of the date window. And the lume on this is not as bright as I wish it would be. So it's a really cool watch, almost a really awesome watch. I wish they made this in a 44 millimeter, because they have a 42 and they have a 46. They don't make this in a 44. So this one's it's just a little large. It's just a little large for me. I have worn it before. I like it. It's a rugged watch. It has an SW200 Sellita movement. I think it might be a clone of a Sellita, although that's a little bit of a proprietary thing. It's either a clone or they bought it from Sellita and then put their own rotor on it. But whatever it is, it's made in Switzerland. It is a Swiss watch, subsidiary of Invicta, because it's Glycine. So it's not like your fancy, you know, Oris or Omega or Breitling or something like that, a Swiss brand. This is a mass-produced Swiss watch. Next up, we have a deep blue Day-Night PC T100. This one has a 60-click bezel. I do like how it's fewer clicks. I like how the bezel is very high visibility, white on black. It's got a sapphire crystal. It has tritium T100 tubes. So these are radioactive material. It is perfectly safe. It's perfectly legal, but there's some tritium gas in these tubes, and it glows for, you know, many, many decades. The half-life is about 12.5 years. So you don't need to go out and put this thing under a light for the glow in the dark to work. It just works because it is slightly radioactive, and it is, you know, it's going to take a long time for this stuff to go out. Every 12.5 years is a half-life. So in, you know, 36 years, it'll be 1/8 as bright as it is now, but you could probably still see it in the dark in 30 years. I don't like about this watch how it does not have a screw-down crown. It just has a push-pull crown. But I like the white dial. It's very legible, easy to see what time it is. Got it on an aftermarket silicone strap. Kind of a weird color for this watch, but it's a really cool watch. Lightweight, polymer case. Good solid watch. Oh, and I don't like how the back has screws. I'd rather have a screw down back instead of little screws, 4 little screws. Most dive watches have what's called a screw down case back, where these little notches, the whole thing screws off. There's threads. It's like, you know, it's a big, strong, robust way to have a case back. These little screws, not as strong as the screw down case back. Next up is a Seiko Recraft. This one is an automatic movement, has something like a 4R36 Seiko movement, exhibition case back. I forget whether or not this has sapphire. I'm pretty sure this is a mineral crystal. Cool looking watch, got it from Jama Shop. It's got the original band. It's got a real thick, wide, I think it's a 26 millimeter wide band. 24 millimeter wide band. So most of these have a 22 millimeter wide band, which would be the same as your lug width being 22. So this one has a 24, so it's a little wider than normal. I like the blue dial. I like the chrome numbers. I like how it's sort of a square, but not quite a square. It's kind of thin. I like it. It's a good watch. It's pretty accurate too. Next up, we have a deep blue Master 1000 Gen 2. This has an NH35 movement. It does have an exhibition case back. I've got it on a NATO strap. Has a gradient gray dial. Sapphire crystal, 120 click unidirectional bezel, screw down crown, has a helium release valve, which you really only need if you're saturation diving. You have to be diving, even if you're scuba diving down to 20 meters or something, which is fairly deep, 20, 30 meters, like you don't really even need this until you hit like, you know, some crazy amount of meters, like 150 meters until you need a helium escape valve. But it has it, and it's kind of cool. I do like the simplicity of the dial and the indexes. It's got a ceramic insert on the bezel. Nice watch. And it's an inexpensive watch too. It's a good workhorse. Seiko NH35 movement, etc. And then here we have another Spinnaker Rec. So this is just like the one I'm wearing today, although it's blue and it has the same specs. 44 millimeter case, NH35 movement. It is, you know, made to look like it was in a shipwreck, trapped under the ocean. Screw down crown, rotating bezel. I like the orange seconds hand. You can really see it. Kind of pops, gives it a little bit of character. This will conclude part 1 of my watch collection. I have more watches, and I will show you guys soon. But I'm going to do these in parts, so that way I have enough time to talk in at least some detail about these watches. And that way I think it'll be a little bit more enjoyable. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.